Sharp LC-46DX1E. The problem with it is it's dead. I have heard from the customer that it will start up if you leave it long enough in a couple of days, bit of heat, it'll start up. I'm going to remove the back now and we'll have a visual inspection of the boards inside first. I've done a visual inspection of the upper part of the PCB for the power supply all around this area. You can see no bulging caps, no burnt out components. First thing I'm going to check for is my 5V supply, and you'll be able to pick that up on there's a little jumper down here, JW74. I just put my meter on that. My 5V line is erratic. It's jumping between 3.5 to 4 volts. And what I found is I've been at this off camera by heating around the heatsink here, this heatsink right here, that I can get it to that 5 volts to come up. As you can see on my meter, it's at 5 volts. That unit will now switch on. You hear the relay clicking. And the screen is lit. I can see it up to the holes of the unit, to these holes on the back of the screen. I can hear a little bit of a buzz from the speakers. I'm just going to monitor that supply as I freeze it. My 5V line. There's an IC bolted to that heatsink. Looks like about 5 or 6 legs, and you can see now if I put a bit of freezer on, dropping the temperature, it goes way down. I would suspect that IC, but it could be components around that I am hitting with the spray as well. I'm going to take off the board and I'm going to unsolder that component and see can I get a replacement. I have the board out and I'm going to start unsoldering that IC from the bottom using my desoldering gun, the SC7000. Just the focus would be great. No. First thing I'd like to do is freshen up the solder a little bit. I'm also going to get the heatsink off as well at the same time. So, put a fresh solder on the mounting tabs of the heatsink. Okay. Okay, turn up the iron a bit. Okay, can we get it there? That's the IC that I was spraying underneath the heatsink, and have a look at see what type it is. It's get the right light. STRW6765. I'm going to see can I get a supplier for that, or see if I got one in stock. Part has arrived finally, and all that remains for me to do is put this IC onto this heatsink, and then clean up the tabs on this, take all the excess solder off it, and reinstall it in the PCB. And also we have to put some heatsink compound on the between the IC and the heatsink. First of all, let's do the screw. Get a bit of clean up. Have a heatsink compound. To get this off the trim these legs of the heatsink, you'll need the iron up fairly high. So I'm going to put my iron up to the maximum, which is 450. I never leave it like that because it'll burn the tips out very quick. Freshen the solder up a bit. Okay, there wasn't much solder on them. I may have to adjust it as it goes into the PCB to get the holes to line up. I'm ready to put in the heatsink and the IC. I've lined it up as much as I can. I'm still going to have to guide in those legs into the holes on the PCB. There's two lines in them. This is always the case with that type of IC, and with a limited space it can be difficult enough for some people to do it. I checked all the electrolytic capacitors around here with an ESR meter, and they all seem fine. I don't have to replace them. Okay, let's just put this in. Make sure your heatsink is square and fully home. We don't want it lopsided. I've already cleaned up the solder with some alcohol. Got rid of all the flux before I started it. Be careful not to bridge any of the solder joints on this IC. Give it a quick clean with some alcohol. Then what I normally do then is inspect my solder work after soldering to make sure I got good solder joints and there's no bridging of the solder. Put all the cables back on the PCB, push them home fully. Should be ready for a test now. See what happens. Plug it in for the first time. Relay clicked. Backlights are on. We've got a bit of a buzzing noise, but it's a common problem with these. I wouldn't like to say we are out of the woods yet, because it was very sensitive to heat around that IC, and the mere fact that I've soldered the IC in has heated up the PCB, so it could be fooling me into thinking it's working. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of freezing of around that area and see what happens. Okay, that's my 5-volt supply, the one that was dropping. I'm going to do what I was doing earlier, and my 5-volt supply is staying steady for freeze all around that area. Rock steady. Now let's see, does it start up? Does it hold its supply when I take it out of standby? That buzzing noise that you might be picking up with the microphone is a known issue with these. There is a technical bulletin on that. If the customer wants it done, I will do that as well. Going to put a signal into it now and see what type of a picture we actually have on the screen. I have the unit plugged in and a signal in the HDMI port. I'm just going to take it out of standby now. See what type of picture we have. Picture quality is not too bad. It looks like it's an old screen, but there's no lines across the screen, no pixel drop out by the looks of things, and that looks like a fix. I am going to have to put it on for a bit of a long-term soak test for a couple of days at least, starting up in the morning when it's cold, and let it warm up. And if it doesn't work, I will be back to you. I hope that's of some help to people out there trying to repair one of these units. Thanks for watching.